everybody. Welcome to our League Forge Qualifier, the second. We are just about ready to start. I am one of your two restreamers for today, Natara. Our second restreamers, commentators for today. Our second commentator is Sunny Tapman. Say hello.
Hello.
And we also have Maggie the Cat, who is our tracker, and Scala Kitty is our restreamer and the ever wonderful roller of the seed. So we're just getting ready to get our racers started. This promises to be another excellent race for anyone who saw the race this morning. Hopefully it won't be quite that terrible.
Hopefully. I heard that it was a hot mess this morning.
Yeah, it was. I take full credit for that, and it was a fabulous job watching. So it should be great. Scala is just quitting the race as we speak, and our racers are going to get started. So who do you think we're going to start with as our second character here today, Sonny?
Kind of want that Rydia start.
Always gotta love that. See, I kind of want to be nice and give him a Rosa start.
The thing about Rydia and that I generally like is that it takes a little bit to get her up to enough, but if you find like an Asura, you can potentially have her as kind of like your replacement white mage.
Yeah, you certainly can, but I find she kind of has the same problem as
Oh
Poor.
no.
Oh, no, that's great if we find a spoon.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Oh no, Hook.
Oh yes.
No, yes.
We like it. We like troll seeds.
Alright, so there could be a good number of runners who go off to immediately to Eblin Cave to check out that character there. And since that is behind a key item, that could be Fusoya or Edge, but it could also be like Tella. So,
But in this sort of case, any extra person to add some damage is going to be really important. Dark Knight Cecil really is bar none the worst character in the game, so unless our runners find more characters, we can see a pretty guaranteed run towards ordeals. Though Kane sitting in the inn is not a bad place, though being guarded by Bahamut it looked like.
both Pidge and Unknown Availability seem to be doing that. Seem to be going right to. Oh, well, planning to go right to Eblin Cave, I should say.
Yeah, they're looting Damsian so they can get their hovercraft so they can use that hook they started with. Definitely a good plan. If they can find some good items in the item shop, they can potentially even start fighting some of those track chests.
Yes, that would be the getting the experience off the Stalemen early on could be a very big boon. Kawahi picking up an ogre axe in the grass at Baron there. If they grab the Aegis shield and there's the Aegis shield in Damsian Treasury, I would almost be tempted to go to Mount Ordeals for that, but that's just me.
I find the Aegis shield is usually just a better item to sell. It's worth a lot of money, and it does more for that than it does for adding defense. But again, it's going to depend on what other items that they find. Also, chat saying I'm quiet. That's funny. That's rarely the case. So hopefully Scala has fixed that.
Finding star veils in the Agart item shop. Oh, sorry.
Very nice. We definitely want to have those, giving us that is our Japanese item that provides wall to the character. So definitely very important to have overall, but it definitely helps with some of the boss fights. Speaking of boss fights, the character on Mount Hobbs is Rosa, but guarded by CPU. Let's see if Unknown Availability can handle that. Probably so.
With a low damage team like this, it'll probably take a bit, but Unknown's pretty experienced. He can figure this out.
Mm-hmm. Scala insinuating I am loud in chat. She is not wrong. Okay, so we have a lot of item shop checking, and that's going to be really important because If you can't find the good items, you will find better items just in the random treasure chests around due to this flag set. But at the beginning, sometimes you're looking for anything that will help, especially things like arrows or just additional damage items. But we're definitely going to see folks checking those item shops.
Unknown resetting seemed to be having just a bit of a damage issue overall.
Hmm.
Pidge not opting to buy kamikazes at the I think that was the Silvera, not Silvera, Mysteria shop. Kamikazes are pretty situational, but if you have something nasty like uh plague at the Rubicon spot, they can really come in handy.
Yeah, they're good to have a couple, but unlike in the apple seeds where they were very much so a gimme item, they're less prioritized in the League Forge. You want things like those sirens that Unknown just found in. We'll find out what item shop once he leaves, but those are definitely a good find. They are a
I think
Japanese only item, which allow you to find the rare encounter in a spot. Ah, Eblin shop.
yeah. Uh and there's a couple places where those are generally used. One of them is on the last floor of Mount Ordeals. That gives you 2 Liliths. That's 5,500 experience. It's a good boot. It's a good boost if you need it. It can help you get stuff like Quake on Palom, or get you enough MP to cast Sylph with Rydia or stuff like that. There's also the Egg Grind, which is one of the faster methods of grinding, as well as the King Ryu grind.
Yeah.
And Unknown is gonna be grabbing Yang in the Eblin Cave. Good to
Yeah.
get early on, because then you can make sure that he starts getting level.
Hmm. Of the leveling spots you mentioned as well, the two main ones are the A grind, but that requires access to the underground, and the King Ryu grind, but that requires access to the moon. So while those are the superior grinds, if you don't have access to them, they're not going to do us much good.
Yes. Uh, Pidge picking up cabins in the uh, Troya Tavern. Unknown is going to be exiting out of Eblin Cave, and Wexel going for Antlion.
Yeah, as one of the early bosses and the earliest boss, which actually provides a key item, it is often an early stop for runners to go. The more key items you get, the more it directs you to where you need to go, and that extra experience can help. Baigen, being not a bad boss to find there, still going to take a little bit though.
In Kobahi found some mute arrows in the Troya weapon shop. Those are the second best arrows that you can buy on this flag set.
Yeah,
Uh,
and Unknown found some good items there. Hourglass 2s in Toroya, which are going to be very helpful for those trap chests.
yes, the Mad Ogre, the 4 Mad Ogre chest, the 4 Mad Ogre chest in uh, Upper Babel being the main one. Also finding Artemis arrows and a samurai bow in the grass in Troya. That is a very big grab. Gonna allow Edward to actually do some decent damage. Tar, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm absolutely still here.
Okay. You didn't say anything. I was a little concerned.
So, Puexel, still taking his time at Baigen. Unfortunately, his party is low damage, but as long as he just keeps fighting away at it, he should definitely make it through this battle. And again, good to have some experience, but Dark Knight Cecil really just does not get better until you can turn him into a paladin. But you need higher damage in order to handle the bosses on that mountain. So any extra character like the Rosa that's on Hobbs, and especially the Yang, which is in Eblin, is really going to help.
Yeah. I don't think they've found any of the strength boosting claws for Yang yet. those being the Poison Claws and the Cat Claws. But Yang in general, just being an extra damage source, you could focus if you need to do more damage.
And we have Kobahi giving a try to that CPU on Hobbs and doing more damage than Unknown was doing. However, Unknown is giving the Inn a try, Baron Inn, and facing that Bahamut. Bahamut being not a very nice boss, but with the extra damage items he's picked up, and the fact that that is a low HP spot, it is an excellent spot to find and fight Bahamut in.
According to Cat, apparently there were Poison Claws in Troya. I guess I missed that.
Oh, lovely.
That's not the fight you want to see here.
No, Ogopogo
Unknown's gonna reset out of that.
Yeah, that is a moon boss, and while a lot of the damage that Ogopogo does is percentile damage, you just can't make up for the amount of damage you're doing there. So it is a very tricky boss, and with the low amount of damage that you're doing, just not even worth it. And unfortunately, only a power shirt for Puexel's efforts in the Antlion Cave. But again, that experience never will go amiss.
Indeed, and we kind of... And Power Shirt's not the worst reward. You could have gotten like a... I don't know, like a Bahamut for the radio that we don't have.
The Power Shirt's still not any good. It's still not equippable, so it's about equivalent. So
Yeah,
Power
that's a good
Shirt
point.
can be really excellent. Like for the parties who have Yang, that's definitely going to be helpful. But overall, we're looking for anything which is going to help them right now, and that's just not it.
So, something that we missed in Baron, there was a heroine robe. And we have the presence of a Rosa. So that could be very important. Lets Rosa do a lot more damage.
Yeah, at least as a tie-in, like a tie-over until we can get that extra damage from Cecil or literally anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, Unknown ready to rematch against CPU, while Puexel is now moving on to Fabul. What a lot of runners will do when they don't have like clear direction or strong enough parties in order to progress to other spots, they will kind of just go in plot order to each of the locations that have a boss and a key item. So the next in that list is actually Fabul. So let us see what is there other than probably not the Fabul Gauntlet.
I mean, one in, what, is it like 37 or something?
No idea, but one in however many bosses there are chance.
Minus, well, no, not -1, because I always forget that the Vanilla Water Hack spot isn't actually in this ROM hack. Isn't actually in the randomizer. You don't do that.
Absolutely.
Don't do math live on Twitch.
No, you just don't do math at all, is the rule. This is a no math stream. Okay, so Pidge also facing off, but both Pidge and Unknown are going to do much better than some of the others, as they have a 4-person party with that addition of Rosa. So Yang is going to help out there, so definitely not going to be too bad at that point.
Kopahi going down Antlion Cave.
His turn to fight Baigen, and we're going to see shortly who is sitting in Fabul. It's a Moon Boss.
Moon Boss.
Aw, D-Lunars. That's not fun, but we'll see. Oh, with Dancing Daggers, that's not bad, because when a Dancing Dagger is used as an item, it does do that strong attack like you saw, which actually counts as a magic attack. So it does not trigger the physical counter from the D-Lunars, which when they're attacked physically, they will counter with Virus, which is very terribly mean.
Bounced viruses at that, so you can't even cast Reflect on yourself and negate that.
Still not enough, so Puexel resetting out. Hopefully he will take the path that some of our others have to try and get some of those extra party members, go and check for that Yang, but it looks like he is gonna Try CPU himself.
Skullakitty rolled this.
This is a Skullakitty special.
Indeed.
Just what we always wanted. Yes, for anyone who has heard about the rumored Skala seeds and has never witnessed one, please enjoy the magic which has already started. And no, nobody has been to our deals yet. No one has had a party strong enough to do the damage. But now that folks are starting to get both Rosa and Yang, I'm sure we're going to see an ordeals play shortly. Because again, nobody wants to keep Dark Knight Cecil in their party for longer than possible. So you either quickly replace him with another character, or in this case, you hop to ordeals and you get rid of him stat.
Wait, since when could Edward equip the power shirt? Is that a new thing? Or
he's always been able to in the randomizer, at least for the last while.
Huh.
I won't admit to knowing the specifics on that myself, but yes, he can in fact equip the power shirt.
Alrighty then.
Which is definitely helpful. And if we can find a spoon for him, Edward, the poor spoony bard, becomes quite the machine.
Indeed he does. Now, thing about that is that can't quite roll that into endgame, because while the spoon does give max attack, Edward does not get great strength growth, and therefore he does not get a lot of attack multipliers. And attack multipliers are generally what dictates how much damage you're going to be doing, so...
However, with that spoon, which brings him up to 255, and any other sort of gear as such, which he can equip, such as the power, definitely does a lot of damage.
It would be very strong at this point in the game, indeed.
Okay, those D-Lunars are down, so Unknown is going to give us our first peek at what key item is actually hiding, hopefully, at Fabul. It could possibly not be a key item, but I'd like to think there would be at this time, but let's find out. Oh, an Excalibur. That'll be nice once we get Pally Cecil. However, we don't have Pally Cecil, so...
So, finding... getting Dark Knight getting Cecil on 40% seeds is not too bad. Reason being is that you're always guaranteed to have an Excalibur in the key item pool, just because instead of forging the Excalibur, you forge the crystal. So the Excalibur still has to be somewhere in the key item pool. So there it is.
Okay, Kobahi also taking out those D-Lunars with glee. Poexel finishing off Mount Hobbs, so taking his Rosa and trying out probably some of the other spots. And we'll see where someone goes next. I have a feeling Unknown is probably going to hit Ordeal shortly.
Either that or someone's gonna give Baron Ann a shot and try to go up ordeals with a full party, and getting Kane would be a huge boon at this point. They've gotten some pretty good items for him, good gear.
Absolutely, and we have already had one person try. Ooh, that demist. It looks like it's in the vanilla spot as well.
That is vanilla Derek Mist.
Yeah, so why that's important is because we have blocked off access to Edward in Terroria in terms that he doesn't give a key item. That key item had to get put somewhere else. So by defeating that D-Mist, you can go see Rydia's mom in Mist and get a key item from there. So let's see what she has.
And that key item will be the pass.
Oh, very nice. And what does the pass do for us?
So in the vanilla game, the pass is some sort of membership ticket to like a hostess club, I guess. But in Free Enterprise, what the pass does is it basically just gives you a way to go straight to Zeromus. Now you can't explore the rest of the moon with the pass, but sometimes you don't need to.
Absolutely. The pass is an excellent find because even if you do end up having to go up to the moon for whatever reason, uh, often it is faster to leave the moon and just use the pass to go straight to Zeromus once you are ready. So no one is ever disappointed to find that pass.
So you're in 40%. I think it's basically always going to be faster because sometimes you have to, because, sometimes you'll find the legend sword at the Ogopogo spot, and then, you gotta go all the way back underground and get it forged, and
If
that
you
whole
find the
mess.
pass itself on the moon,
Oh,
it's not
then
always
it's not as
faster.
useful, but
And sometimes due to the leveling availability, yeah. But it
yeah.
is definitely often very, very useful.
So, Unknown is going up ordeals. This ought to be interesting.
And Kobahi is diving into Eblin, so going to get his Yang if nothing else, and we'll see whether he continues upwards afterwards. But I have a feeling he will come back and head towards Ordeals, but we'll see.
I believe Puexel is gonna go grab his Yang as well.
Hmm.
Demon Wall at the first boss slot. If they want to do Edward strats, they could, but it's probably faster just to do it the normal way.
And for those who are unfamiliar, Edward strats are if you have Edward hidden in this particular boss fight, when Evil Wall gets all the way up to the front, which usually kills your party, it just ends the fight and you win. So it is definitely, if you have Edward, it is one of those boss fights which becomes potentially easier and definitely very cheese able. So it's excellent. Fighting Dark Knight Cecil is another fight like that. You just hide away Edward and wait for Cecil to finish trying to blast you away.
All right, and Evil Wall is going down.
And Baigen is also down. Pidge is about to get her power shirt. Going to be super exciting.
So we're already 20 minutes in, and we've only gotten 2 key items. This is a very... Oh my lord.
That's Golbez, isn't it? Yep.
Yup.
Oh boy. So Golbez is not a good boss. Golbez is very fast. Golbez has very strong magic, which he blasts at you constantly, and he kills a percentage amount of your party. I believe, unless you can get Edward hidden in time, it's 2 full party members that go with a 4-person party. If you can hide Edward in time, it would only be 1 person with this amount of folks. But that is not a nice fight at all.
So you can cheese it pretty easily if you get up a Star Veil or a Moon Veil. But you gotta hope you're fast enough. You gotta be fast enough to get that item off. However, Unknown gets a bit lucky in that he was already hovering over Rosa, and Rosa did not get demolished.
Yeah, she also did not get paralyzed, which helps a lot.
That is also true.
Oh, putting the Bacchus on. Very nice. We're getting some Berserk Rosa here. And with, I believe, the excellent gear she has, this is not going to take long.
Berserker, as Skulla says.
Yeah, Golbez will never do the final hit on himself, but you can have him do the majority of the damage on himself using those walls. So that will help. And having Dark Knight Cecil dead during this fight is no big deal at all because he's turning into a paladin in the very next fight, in the very next room, and his battles reset then. So that's not so bad. So Kobahi is now on Manor Deals fighting his own wall, while Puexel has acquired Yang and is heading back out of Eblin Cave.
I think Puexel's looking for that Staleman chest.
Yeah, looks like he is now that he has that character, and if he has any hourglasses, that will be even better. But Yeah, see what items he can get out of that. Because you
Well,
can
he
get a
just
higher
grabbed an
tiered
hourglass.
item. You can find a higher tier item from the chest. So definitely a good thing to look for that trap chest.
Yeah, it could be like an Avenger. It would be really good. Uh, Avenger gives auto berserk and also ignores Zoromus's I think it's black hole.
It does indeed. And Unknown did pick up the package from Manor Deals, so that is one extra key item, which is nice. Plus, it gives not only another boss, which is less important now that we know where D-Mist is, but it does give another character, so that could be an opportunity for a full party if anyone chooses to pursue it, which I'm not sure anyone will, unless they're still looking for D-Mist.
Puaxel flubbing a little bit. Uh,
No,
Trying to.
yeah, I was gonna say it's not flubbing. It's sometimes these battles are too fast. You also have the way the ATB works is you can get those hourglasses up and they'll still attack.
No,
They still,
he
yeah.
tried to use a coffin on one of the stalemen. I
Ah,
think
it didn't
they're
work. Yes.
yeah. Who's in a bit of a pickle here?
Oh no, he's fine.
Yeah, it's Puaxel. He'll be fine.
Okay, looks like Kobahi is also not doing so bad with Golbez. Rosa's up and alive. So, gonna do some nice damage. Poor Edward not doing so good. Okay, Kainazo lasted not a long time at all for Unknown, so taking his newly Paladin Cecil and heading out. Ooh, getting to see the Frog Strat, or at least part of the Frog Strat from Pidge with the D-Lunars, which is bouncing back their breath attack back, and it will turn the D-Lunars into frogs.
So Pidge messed up a little bit there. If only one of the D-Lunars gets frogged, you're supposed to hit the one that is currently a frog, because then the D-Lunar will try to cast Wall, but it can't because it's a frog, and then they just end up casting Virus on themselves. But you can probably still ride this out.
Okay, Gobahi through to the Pally Cave, so about to get his package in Paladin Cecil, so that's definitely going to help with his progression. Puexel just finishing up with the Stale Man chest, and Pidge very nicely cleaning up that D-Lunar fight.
So at this point, it's looking pretty inevitable that we're going down with the hook. But from there, we're probably looking at, some moon bosses and some bosses in the moon slot, as well as some of the summon bosses. So this seed is looking pretty tricky right now.
So, and just a clarification on the rules for everyone, mics are allowed to be on for our runners so long as they are not being restreamed. Their chats are just not allowed to be on. So our racers are more than welcome to have their mics on. It's just we don't want voices coming through on stream if you're being restreamed. So if one of the racers is not being restreamed, then they're more than welcome to do what they want with their mics so long as they can receive no spoilers from outside.
So we forgot to point out who was at the Rubicon spot. It was Baron Guards.
My favorite.
Can be kind of a tricky fight if you don't have any form of instant kill or hourglasses, but with that, it's not that big of a deal.
Okay,
So at least the path to the underground won't be too difficult.
No, hopefully not. Pidge heading down and trying that Bahamut fight now with this full party, but gonna see if she can finish up Baronin before heading to Manor Deals. See what that gets her. The trap chest for Puexel only got him a longsword, so not really what he was looking for.
Yeah. Longsword, pretty decent weapon for Edge, but we don't have Edge, so can't really do anything with it except sell it. Kabahi going to take on the Baron Inn with his Paladin Cecil. And Unknown, fishing around for Demist. He's gonna be going to Mist Cave now and taking it out
delighted. Definitely very delighted with that vanilla find for sure. And this is often a play that folks do when they have finished the overworld, especially if it's a hook seed. It is always a great check to just, there's only one or two places where Demist could still be hiding on the overworld. So it's always pretty quick to just check that out, make sure everything is fine.
So after clearing all the overworld spots without key items, the three places that it can be is at the Octobam spot, at its vanilla spot, or Mega Sisters. And two of those are fast to check. One of them is not.
Okay, so Unknown, won't be the happiest with this particular payoff, but again, still he will not have to worry and look around for fights. He will have that check done, or actually he'll be delighted with the pass, I forgot. Speaking of the pass and delight, we have the Darkness Crystal is in the Baron Inn. So those are both our two ways to the moon. So that means both Unknown and Pidge have ways to the moon, but Pidge has both ways to the moon. So not only can she go and check for another character, she can check some of the bosses up there, which is sometimes the play, to see if a key item is hiding there under one of the boss's spots, but she can also just go straight to Zeromus when the time comes. Plus, there's another level up spot there, so that is fabulous.
Unknown not going to be taking that Rydia, despite having Sylph. I think he has Sylph at least. Oh wait, no, Sylph was in a chest in Eblin Cave. I think only Puexel has Sylph right now. But Pidge is going to be heading up to the moon.
Absolutely. And that is definitely not a bad call. When you have, it's one of those big gamble points in these sort of seeds. When you have a hook seed, but also have access to the moon, which Kobahi also has now, which do you do? Do you go through the Eblin Cave, Tower of Babel, and hope you find what you get? You find what you need down in the underground if you even make it there? Or do you do an early play to the moon, get some really good levels, and hope the key items you need are up there? Because again, we need 2 key items in order to forge that crystal in this mode. We need to find the adamant and we need to find the legend sword. So we're going to see if that pays off, if only in a good character or not.
Also, to point out, we have not really seen any of the free bosses. Yes, Baron Guards was up in the Rubicon spot, but we haven't seen Water Hag, we haven't seen Dark Imps, we haven't seen Kaipo Guards, nothing like that. So if one of the moon spots ends up being one of those, you could potentially get a good chunk of experience there.
Absolutely. You definitely, when making difficult plays like this, want to find just luck into one of those free fights. Those can really make or break a seed sometimes. Ooh, Palom, our very own Quake Kid, is sitting right there on the moon, so no one is going to be disappointed to see him there.
Wait.
Yeah, so bye, Edward. We didn't find a spoon, meaning Edward is not in, except for the cheesing of those 1 or 2 fights, one of which we have already seen. He really has very little use at this point. While Quake Kid, with just very few levels, I believe it's just not much more than level 20. I don't know the exact level.
22.
And he learns the Quake spell. So very powerful.
Indeed. So, Pidge is going to be going to the Hummingway shop. checking out what's there. Kabahi picking up his very own duck. Nothing in the Hominway shop. So
Okay, Demarine just correcting in chat. It is level 23 that he
23.
learns Quake. So,
And
and
one
got
off.
got some good gear already to give him, which is going to help even more. That Sorcerer Robe and the Change Rod are going to make him very effective. So hopefully will not take long to get a level or two.
Kabahi
Mhm.
heading down to the lunar subterrane. Gonna be checking some of those spots.
Yeah, and this could be the gamble and anyone else, because again, we have 4 folks on the stream right now, but there are over 40 racers in today's qualifier. So if any of the rest of them are also doing this moon gamble and it pays off, we could see some a vast difference in the times. However, moon doesn't often pay off, but when it does, boy does it really pay off. So here's hoping.
So unknown heading to Roya for something. Too sure.
Checking the
Oh.
item shops, because there are 2 item shops for those who are unavailable in Toroya, along with this is the location where you would turn in that pass and go fight Zeromus. So you can't use that pass just to check out the moon. It is a one-way ticket to the moon, but only to where Zeromus is. You cannot then backtrack and check out the moon. So good for final boss, not good for early moon checking.
All right, Puexel getting his pal Cecil.
So what it looks like Kobahi is using those sirens and doing a King Ryu grind, which is very smart, especially with both sirens and those hourglass twos. That is going to be some excellent experience at this point in the game. It's going to allow him to definitely move through things earlier and hopefully tackle some of the bosses which are hiding up here on the moon.
Indeed. And he's got those life potions, so he can life glitch for even more. So the way the life glitch works is that if you use a life potion or cast life on an enemy who's dying, it revives them. However, the way that reviving characters or enemies works in this game is that it's based on their vitality stat, and most monsters have a vitality stat of 0. So you revive them, they instantly die again, and you get credit for both for 2 kills, basically.
So it's always nice to have that. You get 3 King Ryus for the price of 2. So no one's going to say no to that if they find those life potions. So that's why those life potions are always one of the best finds, and one of the reasons many of our runners do search those item shops very early, because again, you want that stack of life potions. You want that free experience.
Pidge, make it an interesting play in Emblem Castle.
Actually, it's a really excellent play. What she's doing is Eblin Castle is a great spot to get some early experience. And where she did just get Quaked, as long as she can keep him alive, which shouldn't be a problem if she can hourglass these enemies, it is a good chance to get extra experience for him, getting him an early Quake spell, allowing her to really get through the rest of the enemies and bosses much easier than she might otherwise. So definitely a very good strategy with what is currently available to her.
Also, that Black Sword with the insta-kill chance, making this go quite a bit faster than it normally would.
And she could also get the bonus of you have even better items than usual hidden in those trap chests, so she could get something very shiny.
Again, something like an Avenger, possibly even a Crystal Sword, I believe is in that item pool.
Okay, Poexel's now going through and doing his Baron in check, so will be the next, if he can get through Ogopogo, which I believe is likely, to get his Darkness Crystal and his Cane. You definitely want that Dragoon. Unknown doing his check to the moon, going to be happy to find that Quake Kit, and Kobahi continuing his King Ryu grind. Yes, as it said in chat, the value of Quake cannot be understated. It is such a good spell. It is very powerful. It attacks full parties. It is strong. It does not bounce against a wall. So for any of those enemies that use wall, it takes them out. So and it's lower MP cost than some of the other powerful spells. So just generally speaking, very, very excellent spell. You want Quake as soon as possible if you have a character that can use it.
Indeed.
Yeah, and he did learn Quake, so he's getting
Unknown
that.
making an interesting choice, dropping the Palom.
Yeah, well, depending on how he's got his party set up, he may not need the Quack Kid.
But fair enough. He's gonna. Ooh, are we gonna get value in Bahamut Cave?
Oh, let's find out.
Value in Cave Bahamut? More likely than you think.
It's really
Not very likely at all.
It's really not. As much as we hype up the value in Cave Bahamut, there's not value there as much as we want. So we're definitely hoping for Unknown that there is. We're hoping for a free boss as well, because with his levels, unless there's a free boss hiding out here, this fight will not happen. It is just, his party is too weak. Though that crystal armor definitely won't hurt.
Crystal armor is probably out of all the crystal gear, probably the one you want to see the least. Because that is what makes you immune to Berserk. And Berserk is really good.
It can be really good. You don't want Berserk in every circumstance, and sometimes you don't have the stuff which allows you to Berserk anyway, so it can be a really good armor to have in the meantime. That being said, you're absolutely correct. It does block Berserk unless the Berserk comes from an Avenger sword. We did find the Fabul Gauntlet, which he probably actually could maybe take down in that spot, but very time consuming. So you're probably going to take the pass, like as in will not fight that boss unless he really needs to.
Yeah. Kabahi's still doing his grind.
As you can already see from his HP levels, how much it is definitely helping him. Puexel summoning his whale, going to potentially get his Palom, but if nothing else is going to check the moon. We will see shortly whether he chooses to stay on the moon or not. Okay, Pidge still just finishing up the Ebling castle. We're going to see where she goes next, whether she's going to take those extra levels and gear she got and head toward deals. Yeah, it looks like exactly where she's going.
Not a bad play. I personally would have tried to do ordeals and then go to Evelyn just for getting experience on Cecil. However, might be able to do the slingshot for him, depending
Honestly,
on.
the way she did it is probably better, exactly because of that slingshot you mentioned.
Yeah.
Paladin Cecil gains levels so quickly anyways when you first get him, plus if you factor in that slingshot and the extra levels that he got for the rest of his characters, making because she doesn't know what's on ordeals, so that helps make this safer for her. She's going to just breeze through ordeals anyways, so the combination of all of that is going to make this very excellent.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of the slingshot. But with that in mind, it is going to be quite a bit better. It is the better play for her to go to Evelyn Castle first. Alright, Unknown checking out the Lunar Subterrane. And Puexel getting his Alum. So, what is the Z fight looking like here?
Oh, we're still nowhere near the Z fight here.
Just in terms of like the way this party is structured right now, if this was the best we were gonna get, what do you think the best way to go about it would be? Probably Berserk strats.
If this was the party, well, with Rosa, you'd actually, and with both Rosa and Palom, I would absolutely do either just reflect strats or you'd do the combination. But honestly, it's far too early in the seed to even be truly thinking about that because depending on how far they go and where they go for things, this could really be a drastically different party very quickly. So, while you want to kind of keep it in the back of your mind, thinking about what can I and will I do with Zeromus, you don't really want to commit to that quite yet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, Unknown getting pretty lucky with the Kaipo guards in
Mhm.
the D lunar spot. So
Yeah.
you want to make sure that if you're gonna life glitch anything, you're gonna life glitch the commander there, because he is, I want to say, 77% of the experience from this encounter.
The more important thing about the commander is the other guards will not actually fight if that commander is dead. They only will attack you when that commander orders them to. So by killing off the commander, you've made this even more of a free fight than it already was. So definitely a good strategy to kill that commander off first.
Indeed.
And oh,
Although
it's
if
in
you're gonna hourglass everyone, it's not too big of a deal.
getting that ribbon spot. Not bad. Getting the Earth Crystal, which is excellent for many reasons. It's another key item. It gives you access to the treasure room in Toroya. It gives you access to Tower of Zot, which has not only one key item, but it has two new characters. So with a party, if you're not 100% sure if you want to keep that party, that can be excellent, but that key item good. At this point, though, if I were Kobahi, I wouldn't leave yet. I'd keep hunting around with those extra levels he got.
Yeah. Unknown, I if I were in an unknown situation, I would probably scoot out of there. But Kobahi finding a decently easy fight in Asura here. He's got wall on Rosa, so he doesn't have to worry about uh the her healing herself.
It has the wall on Ashura actually to make
Yeah,
sure that
that's what I
doesn't
meant.
happen. But
Sorry.
putting the wall, if you also put a wall on one of your characters, it does allow you to bounce spells towards Ashura, so you don't have to worry about reflecting them off Ashura's wall. But that again is where Quake can come in a lot of handy. Even though she looks like it, Ashura is not actually floating, so I believe you can use that Quake spell to great efficiency.
Indeed you can.
And the stream just froze.
Oh
Okay,
boy.
no, it's back. No, it's back. If everyone wants to refresh, it's totally fine. I only know that it happened for anyone else because the stream commented on it, but we're good. So we're getting some good damage on Ashura, and honestly, I think with the party that Unknown has, he will also be able to handle Ashura in this spot as well. Pidge just finishing up Ordeals, getting her Paladin Cecil, which again is going to be incredibly handy. And Poexel seems to be the first person to actually head towards the underground. So in the Tower of Babel, fighting his trap chest there.
So that trap chest could be a very big boon. Comes to the amount of experience he's going to get. Could help put some people over some thresholds. Palom getting Quake, for example, seeing as he has not leveled up his Palom yet. Unknown is also doing his Asura fight. And with that rune axe that he picked up, Cecil is hitting like a truck.
Yeah, you definitely love to have that. Cecil can be such an excellent character, and especially with if it's got the AA flag on, which it looks like this does not, it does change it so he's not the main agility anchor. But if those flags are in fact correct, then that means right now anyone who's got Cecil it's not agility agnostic, so it is looking directly at Cecil's agility, which can switch up quite a lot. But with the items you have, it is really nice to keep him in the party because he does a lot of damage, even with the agility of the entire party being based around Cecil.
Yeah. So
Oh, I hear
Kabahi
things.
heading towards the lunar core. I'm gonna check that Ogo Pogo spot.
Especially after getting that spoon. Nice extra key item.
I missed that.
Yeah, he doesn't have
Unknowns.
an Edward to give it to, but still another key item.
Running into the elements. That is a bit of a tricky spot.
With his party and the levels he's got, I don't anticipate him having any problems with the elements. They can definitely be iffy, but yeah, I think he should make through that fight just fine. Let's see. Keeping an eye on Poexil because I definitely want to see again. He is the first person we're seeing heading into the tower, Upper Babel, and heading his way to the underground. There are two bosses he's going to have to fight in order to try and get to the underground. So depending on which those bosses are, it could be free access to the underground, or he could be hard blocked. So we're going to find out shortly.
So we already know what's in the Rubicon spot. It is the bearing guards. So that should not be an issue. However, King and Queen Evelyn spot could be tricky.
Yeah,
Right.
we have had some doozies there.
Kobahi taking out the elements and getting bearing key.
Very nice. Definitely something you want to see there. And again, another key item. And the reason each key item you get is important is because once these runners get up to 10 key items, that will double the amount of experience that they are receiving from any battle they're in. So definitely makes leveling easier. So plus, most of them do open a new location. Oh, Water Hag. That is excellent. That is a free fight in that location. So
Nice.
not sad to see that at all.
Also, we should mention, bearing key opens up access to not one, but two key items. Because of the flags we have on, key items can also be rewarded from the summon quests. So that would be Leviathan, Asura, Sylph, Bahamut, and in this case, Odin. So Odin opens up once you have access to Baron Castle, and therefore, if you can beat whatever's in the Odin spot, that is another key item for you.
Absolutely, providing it has a key item. But yes, it is another potential spot for a key item. So definitely very nice to find there. Looks like Pidge has come back up to the moon and is doing her own grind against the King Ryu. So that should help. So it could be that Poexil is the one doing the gamble if it turns out that those adamant and legend items that we need are underground. Plus, all of the racers are going to require underground access in order to forge the crystal once they have the items. But our moon folk are definitely not going to have a problem getting there with the levels they have at this point. Just a time.
Just a matter of time, indeed. Alright, so Puexel finishing up his second free fight. And at 5130, he is the first one underground out of our featured runners. Let's see if he takes a peek at the Luge spot. That is Odin.
So with his party, might not be awful, might want a few more levels there, but yeah. Ooh, finding an adamant armor, Kobahi did. Not bad, definitely want that armor, but I think we also really wanted that adamant item. So not the key item we wanted, but no one's gonna say no to the adamant armor, the best armor in the game, which anyone can wear.
Unknown is also going to be grabbing that, and as it is the reward for the Wyvern spot. Alright, so immediately upon getting underground, there's a few things open to you. You can go check out the Dwarven Castle, get a character and a key item there while fighting bosses. You can also go to the Feymark, and that will get you And there is a free key item there, as well as the potential, as well as some potential easy items depending on the bosses in the Leviathan and Asura spots.
He's choosing to loot the treasure room in Tomra, so finding some nice items. He did find a silver apple, which doesn't really do much on its own, but it is some free HP if he does have a character who's just a little bit below. Finding another heroine robe, but nothing in the shop, unfortunately. So taking an opportunity to clear out some of his inventory. It always gets pretty full.
Yeah. So, something that you'll notice is that I tend to not see the runners going into menus very often, and that's because just trying to check all your equipment and stuff does takes up more time than you would think.
It takes up quite a lot of time. So one of the differences, you're absolutely right, you'll see between the regular runners and the really good runners is the amount of time they'll spend in menus. So definitely good to see. Kobahi did go back into the moon and has found Mom Bomb. So with his party, not going to be too bad. Definitely not going to be the easy fight it is when you find it on the blue planet, but definitely shouldn't be too bad. And hopefully holding another key item.
All right, Wextel is heading for the dwarf castle. For the to see what the key item there is.
Yeah, also a character potentially if he chooses to keep them. No glitch, so you won't be able to get the two items you can potentially get out of here by using the warp glitch, but that is turned off. The pink tail for Kobahi, so that is a second adamant armor. Definitely very nice for those who have chosen to go to the moon, but not the key items they need to finish the seed.
So, thing to point out with Puexel is that out of anyone, he's probably the most likely to take any new characters because he has not done his grind yet. And we get the Dark Elf here. Dark Elf is a pretty free fight.
Yeah, it does depend. In terms of characters, though, it depends on who the character is. He has an excellent party, so not having the levels is not going to matter so much if the character who tries to join is just not a superior character.
If he finds, like I said, he's probably not gonna Sid, Tella, that sort of thing. He's probably not gonna take him, but Edge would probably be a pretty good choice.
So must have just mistimed that coffin. Dark Elf, once switched into the Dark Dragon form, loses the boss bit, which protects most bosses from things like resistances, status effects, and such. So you can cheese that the second half of that fight, but sometimes you got to get that timing just right.
Kobahi is gonna go for the Fabul Gauntlet in Bahamut Cave.
Yeah, and that could pay off, but it is going to take a bit of time, so hopefully it does pay off. And not taking Sid, who was the character here, which definitely not wanting to take comparatively to who he had, and but fighting Octomam, which again in this spot not going to be too bad.
Octomam or Octomisses.
Excellent. So it looks like Supremacy is correcting me very correctly that the Dark Elf is still immune to instant death. It's just things like stop and weak. So thank you so much for clarifying that. Just in time for Octomam to go down.
Indeed, and we will be seeing what Puexel is going to pick up after Cousin It goes and grabs the crystal. Cousin It was just a hand, right?
No.
Oh, wait, no, Cousin It was the hair.
Cousin It was the hair.
Ah, that's right. I'm a millennial. I don't know what Adam's family is.
Anyways. So we will see how this goes. Unknown doing that, the elements fight. A little harder. Little more damage here to his party, but with the gear that he's got on Cecil, should not be an issue.
The pan. Got the pan from uh
Dwarf
uh
Castle.
Dwarf Castle. Yep.
Yeah, and that's going to be excellent. A very good time to get it. It is one of the key items which is used underground. In the Sylph Cave, you use it in order to get 2 key items from Sheila once you've gone and woken up Yang with it in the underground. Plus, by using it on Yang under there, you can potentially get a key item from the Sylphs. So that's 3 potential key items just from that one pen from a quick run underneath. So definitely an excellent find.
Very valuable play.
And it looks like Pidge may have done her level up, her grind on the moon, but she has come back down to Earth and is heading underground. So let's see if this pays off for her as well.
Seems that Pidge's grind is a little less than what everybody else did.
Okay, it looks like, ooh, Sandruby. So that is another potential character. Probably not so worth it for Kobahi, who has done that grind. But again, that is one more key item. So not too bad. But again, not the one we're looking for. Not either of the 2 we're looking for.
Quexel picking up a Zeus Gauntlet in the Dwarf Castle Treasury. Not a bad equip at all. I believe that is the highest strength boosting arm equip in the game.
Cannot confirm or deny. I do know it is a good gauntlet, though. So
Yes.
Paige is now fighting those Baron guards while it's Unknown's turn to fight Mom Bomb. Kobahi is back on Earth and likely his turn to head underground, having cleared the moon. Or actually, no, he got about 2 different key items. He got the Baron key and he got the Earth crystal. So probably going to, by the looks of where he's parked, is going to check out that Baron key and those 2 potential key items he can get from there.
And Quexel is heading down to the land of summon monsters. I'm gonna be gonna be seeing what the Rat Tail chest has to offer, as well as possibly taking on one of the 2 bosses there.
Yeah, he has less levels than the others, so unless there are other free bosses there, which there aren't many of left, he is unlikely to fight those bosses at this point. But at least he can get a peek at who they are. And again, it could still be one of the remaining free bosses. So, but we have seen Water Hag, so it's
We have
definitely
not
not
seen
bad.
King and Queen Evelyn.
No, we have not. Now, I'm not sure. Have we? I don't think we've seen Dark Knight Cecil, though. In that spot, can be very, very mean. I'm not sure I'd want to fight Dark Knight Cecil in one of those spots.
Unless I have Edward. Just getting a Masamune from the chest there.
Lovely, and we're going to fight a Val and in the Baron Castle. However, with the levels that Kobahi has, he should have the accuracy to hit. Plus, with Kane, you can stop her spin with jump. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Although, like they tell you. Oh, never mind.
I have had times before where I fight Valvalis with Kane and I forget to jump.
Sometimes, as was just demonstrated by Kobahi, you don't even need to jump.
Indeed.
Okay, let's see who is hiding. Oh, look, speaking of free fights, let's have some red imps.
Indeed.
Dark imps.
Red imps, dark imps, 1 imps, 2 imps. Alright. Pidge getting her Falcon. And Unknown is heading for the Football Gauntlet.
Well, Poexel's going to see who our bosses are. So it's Calcabrina and also a Moon Boss.
So the ones of those that are left are Wyvern, Pale Dim, and Plague. So the Calcabrina fight will be pretty easy.
It really helps when you have those Japanese items turned on because you have
Indeed.
those hourglass items. The back three, the blue dolls, are actually susceptible to things like stop and slow. So you all you need is just one of the types of dolls left for Calcabrina to form into the big doll. However, if one color is all frozen when you kill the orange color, it'll never form that doll so long as you can kill them in time. So that is not an issue here whatsoever.
And Kawahi only getting a ninja shirt for the Baron Inn. However, you can still check the Odin spot.
Absolutely. So, and again, it's another spot and narrowed down, but he really, with all the time that he spent on the moon, he really needs some of these key items from the moon to pay off. Otherwise, he is going to be behind if it turns out that underground was the play. Though those levels he got from the moon are definitely going to help if he does need to play catch up.
Indeed. All right, so let's see what's in the Odin spot.
Ooh, and Twin Harp from the Leviathan spot from the dolls. So very nice. Oh, it's a moon boss here at Odin. Oh, Wyvern, how nice.
Our favorite friend.
Yeah, so long as you can get those moon or star veils up quickly enough, Wyvern is not a problem whatsoever. Very scary boss if you're not fast enough, though. That Mega Nuke hurts, but that Mega Nuke also hits Wyvern if you can get that reflect up in time.
Indeed.
And it is Plague underground, so that can be very scary. Not bad if you can kill someone and bring them back in time. Plague always, as part of his script, needs everyone to be under the count. So if you have someone who is not under the count because you killed them and brought them back, he will cast count again, and you will start an infinite cycle. But if you do not start that fast enough, you can start losing people, as Poexel has. But with them being dead here, that will actually help with the cycle. Just bring one back, get another count. Bring the next one back, get another count. So
or what you can also do is count is reflectable. So as long as you get a star veil or wall on someone and reflect it back, I believe you are good to go.
hey, the Odin fight is done, and we get a crystal ring. Quite a nice item, but not at all what we're looking for. So Baron Key was a bust. We need that Earth crystal to have something. Otherwise, the moon, while lovely and filled with experience, is a bust. Well, those two admin armors also won't be too bad.
Indeed. Ooh, Poexel doing some fancy stuff, getting Kane to jump to avoid the count.
Yeah, and he still has, and that'll be good because Kane will die. Never mind. Kane would have died before the others, which again could have done that, bringing him back to life, count manipulation. However, not a problem here. Unknown, finishing off Cave Bahamut.
The tower key for Poexel.
That could be important. That is another key item. Always nice to get that before you try Lower Babel, because no one likes to have to double dip any of these locations. So he has a lot of things open to him in the underground right now. So we're going to see if one of them does pay off. And I think at least one of them has to pay off, considering what has happened with the moon. And no, Poexel has not turned in the pen yet. So we're gonna see what happens. I didn't even see him go into Sylph Cave, but that doesn't mean he hasn't. But he definitely has not turned into the.
He has not gone Sylph Cave yet.
Okay, excellent. So with that, so yeah, he still needs to do Sylph Cave. Yeah, I think he did Tomra, and then he did the Land of Summon Monsters.
Indeed.
So Pidge resetting out of that Plague fight, didn't quite get the timings right, and Plague can just straight up kill you if you don't get those timings quite correct. So let us see whether Zot pays off for Kobahi. Unknown is turning in that pink tail, or unknown availability is turning in that pink tail. So gets at least one adamant, but chances are if he's finished the moon, he got both of them.
He does have both of them.
Excellent. So that's definitely going to be very good. Again, really, with between those levels and that extra gear, it just allows you to zoom right through. Oh, interesting. Giving it to Edward. So Edward with a spoon and an adamant armor is going to be very powerful.
And that is what I like to call no nonsense Edward.
No nonsense, Edward. Speaking of no nonsense, we found Dark Knight Cecil in the Tower of Zot, and Kobahi is powerful enough that he's like, we're not waiting for this fight to just end. We're just straight up killing Dark Knight Cecil, and did it with glee and brutal efficiency.
Indeed. So, checking out. That is a
Ooh.
Fusoya.
That is a Fusoya. Well, let's see whether Kobahi takes Fu, because Fu is incredibly powerful, very good mage, but with his levels, with the characters he's got, but Fu at this point would be, if not full power, pretty close full power, and he doesn't grow much from there. So definitely one of the only characters you would potentially still take at this point in your leveling. And it looks like Porum, yeah, and Porum, which not going to take Porum. No doubt in my mind, Porum is being left behind.
Out of the three white mages, well, generally considered white mages, that being Fusoya, Rosa, and Porum, Porum is probably the worst out of those three.
Absolutely. And yeah, ditching straight up, getting rid of Palom, and is taking Fusuya instead.
We have Uncle Mop.
Yeah, Fusuya comes with, or has the option to have all of the spells, and it comes with a high amount of HP, so definitely a very good character to have. And having both white and black magic, while Palom only has black. So definitely an excellent person to have.
The trade-off for that, however, is that Fusuya's MP pool is rather limited. However, if you get a Soma drop, that actually breaks through a very large amount of, pretty big amount of thresholds. Being able to cast 5 Cure 4s in a single fight as opposed to only 4 is the main one.
Yeah, it looks like we're also fighting Luge here as the second fight here on Zot, getting through that with his levels no problem whatsoever. So we are about to see, other than Fu, whether the moon has paid off whatsoever. Oh, Magma Key, very unhelpfully at the top of the Tower of Babel. Thank you. Thank you for nothing. Just a little tidbit. If you've ever find the magma key underground after you've already obviously have access, try tossing it in the well. Just I won't tell you what happens, but if you've not done it before, highly recommend it.
Oh dear.
And looks like we are gonna fight the Mega Sisters in there. So
Kobahi only getting a Stardust Rod from the top of Zot.
definitely not what he was looking for at all. Finally doing his demist check, so he's going to be delighted to find demist. Disappointed that demist only has, well, not only, but has the pass, which is nice, but not really what he's looking for. At least it'll save him walking through the moon again.
Indeed.
And yes, Unknown did in fact keep Edward. He has the spoon, which is equipable in this flag set, so making Edward quite strong.
And if he happens to find a bandana and a strength ring, that is, I believe that is max strength boosting equipment for Edward.
Found the pass. Enjoy, Kobahi. So Poexel, having defeated the Tower Key area, now has to leave the Tower of Babel in order to get his item. So we're gonna see whether that is one of our 2 items or whether Sylph Cave is next. Though chances are Sylph Cave is next anyways, because again, nobody that we've seen has found either of the 2 items required to forge the crystal.
Kobahi finally heading underground.
My bets are always on Sheila. Sheila has always got value, or basically always got value. So
That's just what, considering she has 2 item spots.
Yeah, well, Poexel finding that the Tower of Babel was a bust. So definitely, yes, the Sheila and Sylph Cave play are looking much more likely to be good. We'll find out shortly. Um, we are still missing a rat tail, which can be turned in for a key item. We are still missing the Luca key, which gives us access to the sealed cave, which will give us an item. So there are still a couple of things we are missing, which can give us access, but that's about all that's left that we haven't seen. Other than, no, I think that's about it, actually.
Uh, Poaxel and Pidge can also go into Cave Magnet.
Yes, that is true. Oh, sylphs with value. Sylph, the lovely sylphs, for hiding the adamant. So
Nice.
we have one of two crystal items. And Sheila's gonna have the other one, obviously, because she hides things.
Poaxel doing my favorite thing, drilling above ground with the Enterprise.
And just to let everyone know, we do actually have a first place finisher. Night Dew has come in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 57 seconds.
Congratulations to Night Dew. That makes him a automatic qualifier for the final table.
That is correct. So GG to Night Dew. And where does Sheila keep it? In her stove. She's right there by it.
Poaxel going up the wrong tower.
Listen, sometimes you just have to visit the king. You're like, King, give me a boat. And the king's like, no. I know what happens when I give you boats. And it's bad news. Bad news bears. And speaking of bad news bears, come on, Sheila, with the value. I have faith in you. Well,
Murasame.
Mursame, not quite the value we wanted. And Bahamut.
Oh my
Wah,
lord.
wah. So it looks like Twin Harp is the play. Guaranteed music seed. Love it. So I think that is legit. And I think that has to give us the rat tail, which will give us the legend sword.
Indeed.
Chat, you will have to tell us what the song is. We are unable to hear it. Will Poexel go harp? I feel like Poexel will. It is generally a smart idea to take a path and stick with it. So if you've gone underground, just follow those items. So yeah, he is exactly going directly for that harp.
Escola would guarantee music.
I hate to be the disappointment, but I can guarantee you this harp song will not be anything pop culture related due to, DRM takedowns.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. But it could be any number of wonderful video game music. We heard Super Metroid was the Brinstar theme, was the harp music from the Noon Race this morning.
You could also have stuff from like other songs in the Final Fantasy series, Baten Kaitos. I believe I've gotten a Baten Kaitos song once. Sorry, no Backstreet Boys.
No, there was at one time the Pirates of the Caribbean theme, but that actually got DRM takedown. So after that, there are no such copyright songs in here. So yes, if Game of Thrones was in there, it may have been taken out. I cannot confirm or deny that, as I do not have access to the song list. Okay, we will let you have some grooving time here in a moment.
I just really quick want to point out Poexel making a smart play. He went to the place with the damage floors, and then he was very easily able to kill off his party because they were all at 1 HP. Anyways, I'll shut up.
I don't know what the song is.
Chrono Cross, apparently.
Ah. Yeah, I think it's Time Scar. I was just starting to hear it. But
Yep.
I had to turn. It is quite quiet, I will note. Anyways, let's see who our boss is here. We know it's not Dark Elf. We've fought Dark Elf already. Oh, look, it's a Mylon.
Something abyss. Ah!
Oh no. Well, guess who's going to the deep ravine today? It's not us, my Lunzi. Not us. So let us see if it's the rat tail. Oh my god, how shocking! It is the rat tail.
uh, which means it's gonna have to be Luca Key, I believe.
Yep. Hey. I'm just trying to think, yeah. Because I thought something got removed. But yeah, no, it could be. I'm not 100% on top of the actual randomization logic. We'll find out. Could be the Luca key, which will then it either has to be the Luca key, which takes us to the Legend Sword, or it'll just be the Legend Sword. We will find out in just a moment. Either way, Poexel is the runner who is on the correct path of those 4 on stream. Kobahi and Unknown, with the levels they got from being on the moon, are definitely not going to take long to run through these checks. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's the Luca key. Now, many runners, myself included, really hate the sealed cave, but it is easy enough to run through just to check. So we'll be curious to see whether Poexel really sticks to this this line of inquiry, or whether just goes, you know what, we're trying something different. This is terrible.
It looks like he's going for it.
Oh, it looks like he's going for it. Good, good. That is fabulous. Oh, our that more times than not, if you have a choice between hook and the moon, take the hook. Do the hook dive, because it often is the payoff.
Stream is having some issues.
It's fine. Quick refresh, it's right back. Yeah, exactly. Burp. Just like Chrono Trigger. Yeah, Poexel checking very few spots. Oh, very convenient finding that Soma drop. He's doing what I do when I do the quick run through. I only open the chests, which are I literally have to run past. So that way, there's no trap chests in here. So it means you can sometimes pick up some really excellent items, and you don't lose anything big. However, we do have a second place finisher. Zyrak has finished in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 44 seconds.
That means that Zyrak is guaranteed a spot at the final table as well. So, GG's to Zyrak.
Yep. So that is the 2 from this race who are guaranteed spots. So we'll see how the rest goes, and let's everyone get your shocked faces ready when Poexel finds the crystal, or sorry, the Legend Sword. Oh my God! Did you know?
Oh my goodness!
So shocking. So Poexel is now in go mode, having a way to the moon in the Darkness Crystal and the underground, and those 2 items that need to be forged. Ooh, karate. Having Cecil with this fight actually makes it much more of a freebie, because after that second kick that karate will do, 1 hit from Cecil and the fight is over.
And down it goes.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a hit. It can miss, but as long as it's Cecil who does that attack, it's great. Coming in third place is Dusty Griff with a official time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 1 second.
Congratulations to Dusty. All right, Poexel starting the long warp train out of Sealed Cave.
Yeah, they purposely set it up so you could not just exit out of this place. Otherwise, you could pick up that key item or the crystal, as it were, in the vanilla game, and then exit right out and not be forced to fight the boss. So, but warp does still work as long as you're not in that boss room. So it's still faster than walking.
Although with the warp glitch, you can still grab the crystal, and then walk into the sealed cave, and then Kane betrays you right then and there.
Absolutely.
The jerk.
No betrayals here. Kane always loves us here. Exactly. That would really. How could you miss Kane's obvious and inevitable betrayal? Okay, Kobahi. Doing the top of Babel, not going to be the ideal spot, as we know Babel contains nothing. But that's okay. It won't take him long.
Alright, Puexel getting his crystal made. And he will be heading up to the moon, take on the Z fight. So, boo, DH. Bad pun. So, with Puexel's team, looking at hybrid strats most likely.
Absolutely, and it's definitely going to have to do a grind first. Definitely not going to Zeromus with these levels, and he is going to have to do the direct walk as he did not find Demist, and is definitely not going to look for Demist. But that walk, especially where he's already summoned the big whale, it's only going to take him a few minutes to do the run. However, if anyone else who is underground happens to go to and find those items pretty directly and has the pass, they will beat him to Zeromus, even though he took that path first.
Indeed.
Okay, Pidge doing that back on the moon. She seems to be going back and forth today, doing the Cave Bahamut, where we know is sadly not a lot of value. We have Unknown, who's currently fighting the dolls underground, also not the value we're looking for. Hopefully, won't take them long to continue.
Arusta. Pass is with Rydia's mom, and Demist is in its vanilla spot.
Hey, Kobahi gonna do the pan play, which is going to be good. Well, actually doesn't have the pan, so is gonna do the Sylph play, which does mean, unless he just the lovely Sylphs who have something for us today.
Indeed.
Yeah, it does not have the pan. Confirmed, so I'm gonna exit out.
So, Puexel did not happen. I don't think anybody happened to run into a cursed ring.
No, and the curse ring, what it does is it gives you, I believe it's -10 to all your stats, which can be very important for agility. However, purposely killing off Cecil at what I believe is the appropriate level to have him at a good agility, so we will not have a Zeromus fight that is too fast, plus has enough HP that he can actually survive and help in that final battle. With with the agility agnostic turned off, definitely not something we want. And we do have our 4th place finisher, Swimmy Leone, finishing with an official time of 1 hour, 27 minutes flat. Yeah, I didn't see what level that Cecil was at, Demarine. I know there is a particular level. It's 44 that he's at now. I just saw that he had the HP that I was pretty sure was around the right level. And Nirm coming in a close 5th place with an official time of 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 11 seconds.
So as we're just going about final spots here, Paige doing her grind. Or doing another grind, I suppose. Unknown is taking out the Plague. Kobahi finally heading to Twin Harp.
Hey, Pidge doing some King Ryu grinding. Definitely not bad to have some more levels. We have the plague fight happening with Unknown. Looks like we are going to go to the Twin Harp with Kobahi, which we know is part of the required chain. However, he is going to have to get that pan item if he wants to get the second required item. So at least one half of the chain will be completed this way.
Indeed.
Yeah, Puexel's still doing his grind, but that's good. Again, he wants to get those characters as high as he can. Probably most notably, he's trying to get Nuke on Palom. That way he will be able to reflect those nukes onto Zeromus, doing quite a lot of damage. So definitely something you want. And there it is, Nuke for the Quake Kid. So yeah, with that, away he goes. He has gotten everything he's looking for.
And also, very conveniently, at the level that Palom gets Nuke, he has just enough HP to survive a Big Bang.
Exactly. Definitely very helpful.
Pan was in Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, so once Kobahi chooses to go there, won't be bad, but unfortunately seems to be taking exactly the least direct course there. So with his levels, it's going to take him less time than it does others to actually clear through and get there, which is excellent, but taking a bit of the slower path. However, unknown availability is going to the Dwarf Castle, so hopefully that will help him as he will get that first of two items that he needs from the pan, should he choose that afterwards.
Wexel is making his way downtown.
Yeah, at the rate we're going, it looks like Puexel will be the first to finish off of our featured runners, but there is still so much that can happen between all of this, so definitely keep watching, see what happens. Goodbye, Mylonzi. We miss
Oh
you
boy.
already.
I don't. I miss music more than I miss Mylan.
Music's pretty fab. It's time for our Octomam, second best octopus on unknown screen, who is unlikely to take lid, and we are going to have Pidge have a nice little fight with Mom Bomb here.
Shoutouts.
Blink strats.
Shoutouts to silly name.
Yeah, silly name, excellent. Yeah, using blink strats to help with the much higher than usual physical damage that you get from bosses on the moon.
Looks like Wexel is getting himself prepared.
Definitely important. You want to have the best gear possible when you are doing a seed that is not agility agnostic. Again, you really have to focus on what agility Cecil has, and the middle slot is usually where you put the person who you want the game to take their agility from. However, when you're not agility agnostic and you have Cecil in the party, you can put him anywhere. However, the middle spot does boost a bunch of stats, and where you want him to be one of your heavy hitters, the middle is just a really good spot to stick him.
All right, and as you were talking, or as we were chatting. Uh, Kate Seth 2 has finished in 6th place with a time of 1:32:37. So, congratulations to Ketshi. Alright, Kobahi, heading for the sealed cave.
Yeah, definitely good to have one of those two items, though.
And Quexel is getting that Z fight started.
Okay, so we have a very important question here right now, and it is, as per Skulla Kitty, whose butt are we kicking today? We are about to find out. It's obviously going to be Ultros, the only true pure Zeromus sprite.
I don't know. I'm a pretty big fan of it's the dog from The Simpsons. I must go now. My planet needs me.
Nice. Okay, let's
Pretty
see
big
who it
fan.
is. Oh, I like it.
Vegetus.
It's over 9,000.
It's an overused internet meme.
The best kind. So Pidge is still working on clearing out the moon. Unknown. Hunting around. Passed in the pen for nothing. And Kobahi getting the legend sword.
Alright, got that slow onto Zoromos there. Meaning that the first Big Bang is going to be nerfed.
Definitely getting some of those Bacchus Berserk strats, and it looks like we are doing hybrid strats, getting that wall onto Palom and bouncing spells onto Zeromus. Definitely a good way to do a lot of damage quickly.
And that is a nerfed Big Bang for you.
Yeah, definitely something you want to do. Within the first turn, there is no particular timing cue as long as you get that nuke off or a similar spell off before that first Big Bang, you will nuke that damage. However, after that, the timing is much more particular, so unless you're extremely practiced with it, not such a good strategy to try and do in your Zeromus fight. That being said, it does give you a lot of opportunity to get extra damage done with lower HP characters in early on in this fight.
All right, so Aizen Tayama has finished in 7th place for the time of 1:36:18.
GG's. Yeah, if you don't bounce these spells off of a wall, you get some pretty nasty counterattacks from white especially. I believe Zeromus does weak in that case, and you really ain't got time for that, especially with the HP drain you get, or HP leak, sorry, that you get from Big Bang.
Indeed.
And for those unfamiliar with the Zeromus sprites, we have close on 400 sprites, so let us tell you there are many sprites in the pool, though nobody except for Skulla Kitty and Boardface, and maybe even Rivers McCown, know them all. So keep guessing, and if you're interested in getting your own suggestion in there, there is a form pinned in the Discord server, so definitely feel free to get your suggestions in. However, it might be there already. Okay, and
And Puexel has finished.
yes, he has. He has finished in 8th place with a final time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 32 seconds. And Venerable came in
Oh,
9th with 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 51 seconds. And Moonblaze Wolf finished in 10th place with 1 hour and 38 minutes flat. So GG to all of those runners. We're gonna
very
see.
close.
We're gonna see if we can get Puexel in here for an interview. And with that, it is the race to see if the next one, who the next one of our racers to get that crystal is. Unknown has one half, Kobahi has the second. By their powers combined, they'd have a full crystal. And Chrono 200 has finished in 11th with a time of 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 41 seconds. We're going to get a lot of folks starting to finish now.
Yep.
We'll read off the ones we can.
Puexel said he is available for an interview.
Yeah, and we're just waiting for him to join the VC. In the meantime, we'll keep an eye out on what is happening on the run. It is Pidge's turn to fight Ashura, which, again, with her levels, should not be a difficulty whatsoever. Hey.
Apparently, Kate Sith 2 pulled out 5 Zerker strats on Z this seed, which is kind of impressive.
Love it. That's always nice. If you have enough damage happening, enough characters who can do damage, that can be incredibly efficient, very fast. Can be dangerous, but if you get that original nuke, I don't know how fast you'd have to do it. But that being said, Puexel, our first place finisher on stream at least, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so you may not know this, but you are the only one of the featured runners who went directly underground and did not go to the moon first. And as I'm sure you can guess, that has paid off. Any particular
nice.
reason you chose to make that play? Yeah, my gosh, please. Oh, hi, live audio. Fancy to see you here. While we are getting everything back up, as Puexel mentioned earlier, the Scala Kitty Seed Evil was just too much for even her computer to handle. We've got Kobahi's stream up. Scala's working on getting on the rest. And with that, we'll continue talking to Puexel here, who has been kind enough to stick around with us and talk a bit more about his seed. I'm not quite sure where it got cut off. I know I had asked you about the decision to go underground after picking up that character on the moon.
Yeah, and like I said, the main factor that went into that decision was that since I'd already gone into Cave Eblon, both to get the free character there, check the shop, and get treasure, I'd already seen that the Rubicante boss was a blue cloaked soldier, which means either Baron Guards or Fubble Gauntlet. So I knew that at least one of the Upper Tower of Babel bosses was something that would be a pretty easy fight with hourglasses and coffins.
Absolutely.
So I just decided to return there. And lo and behold, the other boss was Water Hag, which was even easier. So it was a pretty smooth trip to the underground.
Yeah, we noticed that because, again, you were the first person we saw, and we were like, wow, that was a free entry to the underground. So
yeah,
definitely.
Part of me does wonder if I'd have gone to Ordeals sooner, if I'd have been able to beat Golbez in particular too, just because I kind of feel like I over prepared for just doing my loop around trying to get as many chests as possible. And if I'd have gone in like before getting Yang from Cave Eblon, if I'd have been able to complete Mount Ordeals or not.
Absolutely. And just to interrupt quickly to let you know, Kobahi has finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 21 seconds, with Unknown currently heading to the sealed cave, so exactly where he needs to be.
GG Kobahi.
Oh, excellent. So definitely GG's to you, Puexel, for that finish. Anything else you want to add while you're here?
Well, that was also a quote-unquote PB at League Forge flags for me by almost half an hour too, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Nice. Definitely GG's on that. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, and come to chat with us. Kobahi is going to join us now in a moment to talk about that seed. Get the other side of the story. Why was
Sounds
it he
good.
chose the moon? So thank you
Alright,
so
take
much,
it easy, everybody.
Thanks. And hello, Kobahi. Welcome, and GG on that.
Yeah, that was... Well, I made the wrong decision, basically.
Well, I'm not sure that you know, but you are one of 3 on the stream who made that same decision. So you were certainly not alone, though you were the first who kind of did the big grind on the moon and then chased the bosses. So you were also the first to leave the moon again afterwards, though Unknown wasn't too far behind you.
Yeah, I think according to my timer, like, I was cleared the moon before the hour mark, and then, yeah. Followed up on the couple key items I got there, and then, you know, as soon as they didn't pan out, I knew I pretty much just had to chase everything back.
Absolutely. Yeah, and again, unfortunately, it didn't pay off. But by the time you left the moon, like, your levels were excellent. So we kept pointing out it's like it wasn't the right play. We kept hoping, like, Earth Crystal, is that it? You know, Baron Key, is that it? But at least you had the levels to kind of speed the rest of it up.
Yeah, and one of the main reasons I also decided to take the moon route is when I went to see Yang, I saw it was either the goat, ended up being the Baron goats, but it could have been either at that point. So I knew a lot of people would be enticed to go down to the underworld early. So if it turned out to be the moon, I would have been in a good position. But it's just one of those things that...
It is, you just have to make that gamble, and you hope that, you know, the one you pick is the correct one. But in this case, the moon just was not the one.
Oh.
So any particular, like, general feelings about that seed?
Honestly, no. Like, I felt it went pretty well. Like, even with the low damage team off the start, getting the mute arrows early and then finding a dancing dagger. Besides, you know, obviously my decision to take the moon, which didn't turn out, everything went really well, like, beyond that.
Absolutely. You definitely handled everything very well.
All right. Just updating pages. Heading in for Baron, and Unknown is getting his Crystal Forge.
Very nice. So likely going to be one of the next group, or definitely the next one on stream for us to make it through.
As well, I'll get out of here. GG, thanks for the commentary and everything, and good luck to everyone else that's still going.
Yeah, thank you so much. And GG again.
All right, so since Chrono, we've had a number of finishes. Scratch Dragon coming in 12th with 139.50. Smapity coming in 13th with 141.24. Peasants coming in 14th with a 142.56. Shamstron coming in 15th with 143.35. Poydrek coming in 16th with a 144 flat. Neon Gray finishing in 18th with 146.32. Enwalm 583 coming in 19th with 146.49. Mr. Ubik finishing in 20th with a 148.06. And Accident finishing in 21st with a time of 150.22.
Pidge doing her dive into Cave Magnus, so it's definitely heading in the correct direction. Okay, so Unknown is heading to his Z fight. Let's see how this plays out. Likely going to be quite similar to some of the other ones, doing some menuing beforehand, which definitely smart.
Iker, in the meanwhile, has finished in 22nd with a time of 151.38. Now, thing is that Unknown does not have the Hallam, rather he has the Edward.
Yeah, and until that second Big Bang, hopefully not even the first, but definitely hopefully the second one, we can get some decent damage with that Edward having the spoon and the adamant, but with that amount of HP, Edward is just not guaranteed not to survive a second Big Bang.
Unless he manages to hide.
Yeah, exactly. Which, if you can get the timings on that, it'll be beautiful. Also, just want to note that Error has finished in 23rd place with a final time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 49 seconds. Oh my gosh! How absolutely surprising that Vegeta is the sprite. Ooh, doing silk web strats. Very good. That is one of the items you can use in order to nerf that Big Bang damage. Plus, it also has the added effect of putting slow on Zeromus. So definitely a great item to use when you find those silk webs in a shop or find a couple in between the chests. You're never sad about that.
Nope. Getting some 17 out of 17s. Kabah, he got one. Unknown is going to get one, and at this rate, Pidge is also going to get one. So definitely a Shallow Kitty seed. But Unknown's got 4 Berserkers going. This shouldn't take very long.
Hey, Mylon Z just cannot stand up to the might of those levels that Pidge has gotten from everywhere else. So goodbye, Mylon Z. Goodbye.
Edward is putting in some damage. That's for sure.
That's what Edward does. That spoon is definitely excellent.
That might be the single best thing we've done for this randomizer.
After those, the Twin Heart music and the Zeromus sprite.
Ah, that's true.
Everyone who loves Edward, here you go. Value in Gilbert. I mean Edward.
Yeah, Edward isn't even a true Ed.
You know who is a true Edward, though?
Edge.
Edge. Edge's real name is Edward.
Which is...
Just so you know.
That always just gives me the thought of Edge, you know, being like a little kid trying to make himself sound cool.
Yeah, exactly. My name's not Edward. My name's Edge. It's like, that's nice, dear.
Alright, got the meteos coming out from Z on Unknown screen, which means this fight is pretty much over.
Yeah, definitely love to see those. Oh, poor Edward gets to nap through. That's okay. He did hard work. He can rest now. Hey, so that is that flash we were waiting for. So Unknown has finished with a final time of 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 13 seconds, putting him solidly in 24th place. We're going to see if we can't get him in for an interview. Yeah, these, you've got to keep in mind, this flag set can be difficult, and when you have that many racers, we can't all come near the top. So just those 1 or 2 calls, just not the best calls, just sometimes have those consequences. But sometimes you'll have another race where that is exactly the call you want. So Unknown is waiting for us. So hello, Unknown. GG for you.
Yeah, every single thing in the
Everything.
game.
Please remember, this was a Scala Kitty special, so what else do you expect from that? You probably don't know, but you were one of 3 featured runners who did do most of their initial hunting on the moon. Do you want to talk us through why you may have chosen to do that rather than chasing the hook and the underground access? Hello?
Oh, sorry, I had muted my mic because something was going off. Yeah, I went up to... I got the Darkness Crystal and I went up to the moon because I was going to get experience. I was feeling like there was enough free fights out there. And my thought was, if I get the experience, I can fight anything that I come across later. And when I saw the first dot done, I'm like, I am not in the right spot. There's no way I'm in the right spot, and I had already full cleared the moon. And
Metagaming a little bit there.
I'm not gonna say no. Yeah, of course I'm metagaming a little bit whenever I see the dot done at like an hour 13. It's like nobody who went to the moon is finishing at an hour 13. There's just no way. And even if they did, that means both of them were on the moon and I was just behind. So it just, when I saw the Baron Key and Earth Crystal, I'm like, okay, I'm doing good. When I saw the Baron Guard, not the Baron Guard, excuse me, the Hypo End fight at D Lunar, I was ecstatic. I was like, free 30-something, levels on all of my characters. And then I found the spoon not long after that, after stupidly throwing Palom away.
Oh, that was an accident?
Yeah, it was.
Oh no, that's
We thought you did that on purpose.
No,
Yeah.
well, at first I did, and then I realized after I looked at my party that I still had Edward. And I'm like, this is totally a great idea going on with Edward. And then the spoon popped up, and I was like, it was totally a great idea.
Yeah, you were the
Totally intentional.
Yeah, you were the only person who kept Edward, at least on our featured runners, but again, it ended up paying off for you, so it could have been a heck of a lot worse. Just to note, we have had a few more finishers, so definitely not going to read them all out because there's quite a few at this point in the game, but lots of people are finishing up here. So anything in particular about that seed that you'd just like to talk about? Anything that really struck you other than the, oh gosh, it's not the moon,
Well, I think the seed in general just struck me, period. It just struck me really hard and
You weren't alone.
face first. But no, and all in all, I'm glad that I could showcase where every item would be in 40%. So I'm glad everybody got to see that because, yeah, that's how you do a full clear in under 2 hours.
Hey!
But no, it was good. I appreciate all the trackers as well as everybody who did the commentary and of course the restream. Scala, thank you so much for rolling this magnificent seed. My nose is still bleeding.
He loves it. Everyone just waiting for those. Did you know this was it your first giant or your first World Series of Free Enterprise seed? She can't answer, but I believe she said earlier this was her first World Series of Free Enterprise seed, so you're welcome. Please enjoy.
This is actually my first World Series of Free Enterprise. I wanted to do the Apple seed, but I had a lot of personal stuff come up, and I'm glad I got to do this one. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Agreed. Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us and agreeing to being one of our featured restreamers. So thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, and y'all have a great day, and thank y'all again for running this. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. You too.
All right, so Pidge is heading in for her Dark Elf fight, followed by her Octoman, followed by her followed by the band.
Oh no, Dark Elf.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is with that gear and those levels, Dark Elf does not stand a chance. That damage from Cecil that's just mean.
I believe. Oh no, I thought Dark Elf was counted as a mage.
Dark Elf's not counted as anything right now.
Nah, that's a good point.
Sorry, Dark Elf. Hey, Dark Elf's still in a crystal room. I just noticed that. I
Huh.
love it.
Funny.
Yes, and Dark Elf is in fact weak to Holy, so Holy always hurts Dark Elf quite a lot.
However,
So, yes.
Octomam is resistant to Holy.
It's not going to be resistant to just being hit with lots of damage, though.
And I don't know many things that are resistant to a punch in the face.
Watch that hand go. Changes color depending on who the boss in that location is. So the coolest hand is when D-Mist is there. It's all like reverse colored and glowy.
I'm a pretty big fan of Luge in that spot. Got that weird, like, neon.
Yeah,
thing
that is
going.
also a cool color. Yeah, it has the really like the green and the white.
Why is he colored like that?
We don't question his life choices.
Okay, fair enough. Alright. Paige finally heading into the Sylvan Cave.
So that's definitely going to be good for Pidge. You're going to be very happy to see that.
Alright, we had a few more people finish up.
Yeah, we are starting to get through the collection of folks here. Lovely. Getting her adamant. So with her levels, she is just going to have to forge that crystal where she's basically right next door as is and hop right to Zeromus. She does have the pass. Well, that's interesting. She hopped into... Cave of the Summon Monsters. There could be some items which in the item shop there that she's looking to pick up.
Oh yeah, stuff like Bacchus.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't have the money or the wherewithal to pick up the items when you're there. So as long as you're tracking where those items are, it can just be a moment of a few minutes, few seconds to go back, pick them up. And yeah, that's exactly what's happening. She's going right to that item shop, and you can just exit right out of here. So with her Bacchuses, she'll be able to leave very quickly. Plus, if you are here and don't have someone with exit, in the treasure room on that previous floor, there is actually a warp tile out of there. So it does help.
Which I did not know about for quite a bit. I made many a walk of shame. Right, but Paige gonna be forging her crystal.
So happy. So usually, I'm sure most folks know, this would give you the Excalibur, but in this one of two added modes in the Forge percent, you can actually come and forge the crystal. That also does give you, of course, access to the extra shop, and in this mode will give you the crystal needed to finish the game. The other optional mode is Giant percent, where instead of having to defeat Zeromus to beat the seed, you have to get access to the Giant of Babel and defeat the boss at the end of that to finish the seed. So it's a bit different because you're looking specifically just for the darkness crystal. You don't need the actual crystal or the pass, because neither Zeromus is not required. Though, again, if you want a little bit of an extra haha on a Giant percent seed, go visit Zeromus. get the pass and go say hi, or not the pass, but like go to the moon and go say hi to Zeromus, you'll be thankful. It's cute.
All right, Pidge and Detroria. I'm gonna be doing some hybrid strats. Although she does not have nuke on Palom.
Yeah, with those silk webs, though, that's going to be less necessary because the silk webs can be used in order to nerf the first Big Bang. So it means you won't be able to do the kind of continual damage from the nuke that you could if you did have it. But with Rosa there, if she does have white, that will definitely be lots of damage, plus the Berserk strats. Porum can enjoy a nap. He's worked hard.
Indeed.
Yeah, there are definitely some interesting flag sets that are there, and some interesting possibilities. If you do have recommendations of things which could be kind of neat to add to this particular randomizer, we do have a feedback and ideas channel in our Discord, so you can use that in order to suggest things, and that is how some of the things are added to the randomizer. Many things aren't, we're not going to lie. There's lots of very silly suggestions that go in there, but we do get some really great ideas, so we're definitely happy to hear from everyone. If you have any ideas for things to add or opinions on things.
All right, and Pidge is coming in for the Z fight.
And Scala Post linked the link to our Discord if you do want to join. Race with us. We have lots of things going on all the time. Many things to join in, whether you are experienced or brand new to the community. Really great community, helping to support everyone. Teacher strats, they're teaching me all the time. Play races with you. Tons of fun.
Indeed. All right, Delicate starting to get her attackers berserked. Did I say? I don't know. I'm a very confused person.
Life is confusing.
This is true.
Hey Vegeta, this is your last chance to make it over 9,000. Can you do it, or will the memes die here tonight? Spoilers, the memes will never die.
The memes never die.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying to go for an Overwatch thing, and then I didn't.
That's fair. I wouldn't have caught it anyways, so.
Fair enough.
What? 9,000? Exactly. Rip
There's
memes.
no way that can be right.
Demery,
1648.
I would love to know where you got that starting year. Okay, so I think this is our first non-nuked Big Bang. Let's see here. Nope, that was definitely nuked. You can always tell when you get under 1,000 damage rolls on the Big Bang. Usually it's like, oh nice, under 2,000, so delighted. Okay, having Rosa is always just such a boon. You really do want a good cure there. Those cure 4s really help keep your party up and alive after those big bangs, especially when they're heavy hitting, and especially when you have low HP characters like Palom. Ooh, a second big bang. Oh, that's because we have a higher than normal level Cecil, which means we have a faster than we want Vegetamus. Vegetus? Yes, there we go.
Vegetus.
Vegetus.
Treaty of Westphalia? Apparently that happened in 1648?
I love that we're having actual discourse about how long memes have been around. Welcome to the beauty of this community. Come, join us and debate how long memes have existed. I think it's been as long as humans have been alive. So, we can also debate what year that was.
Memes are timeless.
Agreed. Okay. So far, Palom is alive. I love it when Paloms make it through this because you can get some good damage. Yang not quite doing the hits we want, but again, any damage is good damage, and getting those boxes back on after the we have gotten them taken away by Zeromus. I'm blanking on the name of that ability.
Black hole.
Black hole! After you've been black holed. All I could think of was Big Bang, and I'm like,
Apparently 1648 is the birth year of Merced.
Cool. I don't know who or what that is, so, excellent.
I think their name has meme in it.
Probably. Either way, that's what the Googles are for. So yeah, while Palom may not have Nuke, doing some decent damage with those viruses, but casting them directly, which is getting that nuke counter, pretty gross. But I think Pidge can handle it.
Yeah, Yang will be just fine. Gets a monstrous HP pool.
Yeah, however, you'll notice that was another low roll, so that direct was actually intended, or if not intended, very luckily timed, because it was at the correct time to nuke that Big Bang, so excellent work. I can never get that timing correct whatsoever.
I can't either. There's a reason I do Babby strats, and just berserk everybody and heal every turn.
Any strategy which will allow you to defeat Zeromus is a valid strat. We all have our different levels. Some are faster than others. Beating the seed is where it's important.
This is true.
Rosa with those Cure 4s. She's got us. When things are looking low, Rosa's here to pick us up. Put us back on our feet. Allow us to punch Vegeta's a few more times. Also, for anyone who's not familiar, the majority of the Zeromus sprites were compiled and made by the ever wonderful Scala Kitty, who is our restreamer for this evening. So, excellent job. I have a feeling this was one of the ones she added, though she will be the only one who can confirm or deny. Welp. Unfortunately, we'll see it on stream probably shortly. Okay, that's interesting. Pidge has actually forfeit. She did finish the race, and she did defeat Zeromus, but for some reason, she has decided to forfeit. She is, however, still going to come in for an interview, so maybe she can tell us a little bit about this mind-boggling decision. I think she was just being a good sport and finishing up even though she knew that was not going to help her out. Ah, gotcha. Okay. We did have an incident where there were some chat spoilers, and it did actually influence her decision. So that is why so that's her being a very excellent sport and choosing to forfeit due to that. So really good on you, Pidge. That's really good sportsmanship. So we will talk to her shortly now once she comes in here. It's one of the reasons spoilers are really not a good thing at all. They can have such effects on folks. So, not so good. But we're gonna wait for Pidge here and give her a hi.
Hi, howdy do.
Oh, waiting for her to come here. So 1 minute, we're gonna drag her in. She is no longer deafened. Pidge, welcome and GG on that. Sorry about the forfeit.
Oh yeah, it's okay. It happens.
Absolutely. We definitely appreciate that sportsmanship. Like, we're so sorry you got spoiled, but willing to own up to it and stuff and forfeit, really good on you. And that
thank
was
you.
a really good seed as well. You did fabulous.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't feel like I played terribly. I just didn't have the greatest routing decisions. Like, I thought my early game was super clutch. Like, I had a lot of really close calls in my fights, and that was kind of neat. But I don't know. I guess I just should have followed the twin harp and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it was a really difficult call. I know. It seemed like you were having a bit of a trouble deciding whether you wanted to search the Earth or whether you wanted to search the Moon. It seemed like every time I looked on your stream, you were like, okay, now I'm on the Moon. Now I'm back on Earth.
Oh yeah. Well, at first, because of the party that I had, I was like, I wasn't too sure like how difficult the hook was gonna be, so I thought, hey, you know what? I just got Pain Lad. I could just take him to the moon and give him a ton of levels from the Siren. So I thought that was like the best call, like the safest call to make at the time. And but then I didn't feel like I was in a good enough place to like take on any of the moon boss at the time, so I just went back underground. But then when I saw like people had finished at like an hour and 13, I was like, oh, well, they're probably not chasing down the same rabbit holes I am. Maybe someone went to the moon and did something different than me. Maybe I should go up there. And then that ended up being the completely wrong decision.
Yeah, and it's the terrible kind of decision here when you get the hook seed and the moon access. It's just like, which am I going to do? Am I going to go underground? Am I going to go to the moon? And like, it's so difficult. And I will say, of the 4 featured runners, the only person who just went directly underground was Poexel, and that was obviously the right choice in this case, but like everyone basically else just totally was like, let's go to the moon. If not for levels and searching things out, let's just full clear the moon. And again, it just didn't pay off this time.
Yeah, that's kind of how it worked out for me. Like, the early game I thought was awesome. Like getting those last second close call boss kills with Rosa and Mute Arrows, I just felt like amazing. And then versus one of the 2 lunar subterranean bosses versus Plague, I think. I felt like really cosmic brain for the kill I got on Plague. But then after that, it all just kind of started to fall apart with the routing, and I'm like, oh no, what am I doing differently than everybody else?
I have that problem all the time. It's why I personally always hide my SRL chat, because as soon as I start to see people finishing, I just totally lose my routing. So I'm like, what was I doing? What am I doing wrong? Oh god!
Yeah, and like sometimes when I have that option paralysis, like, do I go underground to go to the moon? I don't know, maybe I'll just go do Sirens on the moon until I can make up my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. But still, considering that seed and, you know, the difficulties with it, really an excellent job. So, thank you for that.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for doing the commentary, and thank you to the restreamers and the trackers. It was another fun race. I hope to see you guys again tomorrow.
Absolutely, and thanks for mentioning that. We do have 2 more league matches tomorrow, qualifiers, at the same times they were today. We have one at noon, and we have another one at 8 p.m. Both of them will be right back here on the free Enterprise channel, and that's going to be excellent. And we have actually picked a raid target for this match. So before we kind of clue up and send you over to the ever wonderful Ben Sly show, anyone else have anything they'd like to say?
I just real quick, I want to thank you, Natara, for chilling out with me and chatting with me. I also want to thank our tracker, Maggie the cat, and our restreamer, Skulla Kitty, especially Ola, because she had all those technical difficulties and she still ended up pulling it together in the end and getting us back on track. So thank you quite a lot, Skulla.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. Restreaming is a lot of hard work in the background, and if you get technical issues on top of that, it is just a panic city in your head, and she handled it amazingly. So I have linked everyone in the chat, so feel free to give any of us a follow, runners included, if you enjoyed what we did. Otherwise, we are going to send this to Ben Show. I know he has been running a French tournament for Free Enterprise, so it's likely that is continuing, and in either case, he is an excellent member of our community, so let's all give him a little watch. And thanks so much for coming out. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.